I've seen so many sellers lose thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars by working with suppliers that simply aren't legitimate. Okay, so in this video today, I'm going to tell you exactly what you should avoid and things that you should do to make sure that your suppliers are legit and make sure you're working with people that aren't going to steal your money. So before we get into this video, take a quick second and subscribe to my channel below. I come out with 3 videos just like this every single week. So let's get right into the video. So when it comes to making sure that you're working with legitimate suppliers, there's a couple of things that you can do to verify their authenticity. And I'm going to tell you one thing at the end, really the only way that you can truly verify whether or not a supplier is legit. So the first thing that you can do is if you find a supplier, you're not sure if they're legit or not, right? Maybe their website's a little sketchy. Maybe they don't have a website at all. The first thing that you can do is just look them up on Google Earth, okay? So when you look up their company address on Google Earth, you're looking for a couple of things. One, you want to make sure that they're in a commercial facility, right? If you look up their company address and it's somebody's house or it's like a field in the middle of nowhere, that's a big red flag. You want to make sure that the suppliers that you're working with have a warehouse, they've got a big commercial location where they're doing a lot of business out of, right? That's going to be the quickest way to tell whether or not they're legit. Also, take a look at what's around them too. So if they give you an address and you drill into their location and it doesn't feel right, maybe it's like, some building in like a residential neighborhood, or basically if there's anything sketchy about the location, then I would probably avoid working with that supplier because maybe they're not a scam, but maybe that tells that they're new to the business, right? And typically you want to work with experienced suppliers that have legitimate suppliers themselves. Therefore, they're going to be a good fit for your business. All right, so the second thing that you can do to verify authenticity is you want to look up your suppliers on some of these some of these business databases that exist out there. So things like the Better Business Bureau, right? I think it's bbb.org. You can look up companies on bbb.org and they'll tell you, right? If the company's registered with the Better Business Bureau, then they're going to be on there. And if people have had bad experiences with those companies, there will be negative reviews on bbb.org where people complain about either being ripped off by these companies or just not having a good experience with them. By the same token, if people have good experiences with companies, a lot of times they'll leave good reviews on that website as well. So that's a quick way to disqualify potentially bad suppliers. Another business database that you can check out to make sure they're legit is places like Dun & Bradstreet. So I think it's just dnb.com. So Dun & Bradstreet is it's essentially a credit bureau for businesses. And so companies that are legit, that have established credit with their vendors or with banks, with other institutions, are going to have a DNB profile. So you can search the entity name on DNB, and if they show up there, then they're probably more than likely going to be legit. Not 100% of the time, but it's a good sign. So one thing that you should definitely avoid is suppliers that operate exclusively through Telegram. So this is a question that I get all the time is, hey, I found this supplier. They don't really have a website, but they just send out deals via Telegram. Are they legit? Sometimes they are, but a lot of the times they're sketchy. A lot of the times the merchandise they're getting is questionable. Sometimes it can be counterfeit. My general rule of thumb is do not work with suppliers that only operate through Telegram. 50-50 shot as to whether or not they're legit, but if you work with one that's not legit, sometimes it can get your account shut down. That's not a risk that you want to take. Another thing that you can do to verify authenticity is see if the company exists on LinkedIn. Right? Do they have a company page on LinkedIn? Are their employees, are their owners on LinkedIn with the company name listed as their current job, right? So this can be a really easy way to verify whether a company is legit. A lot of times if they're on LinkedIn, if they have their employees on LinkedIn, chances are they're going to be a legit company. And that should pretty much tell you that they're safe to work with, at least for the most part. All right, so now I'm going to tell you really the only way to truly verify whether or not a supplier is legitimate, and that is just going to simply be to place a test order with them. So if you've followed all the steps that I mentioned in this video, everything checks out, but you're still maybe a little unsure for whatever reason, then you might want to just go ahead and place a very small test order with the company and get it sent to your address, right? If you use a 3PL, then have your 3PL verify the goods are authentic. If you're prepping yourself, get a small order shipped to yourself and just verify the goods, right? Depending on the types of products that you're buying, you can tell, like, are they counterfeit? Are they legit? Are they in the right packaging? Are they in the manufacturer's packaging? You can tell pretty much everything that you need to know from placing a very small test order, all the way from how quickly will they fulfill your order, how quickly will they take your payment. All these factors can contribute to being able to tell whether or not they're legit or not. So those are the ways that we would go about pretty much confirming whether or not a supplier is legit. It's a question I get all the time, so I wanted to make a video about it. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave a comment below and let me know. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Corey Ganem. And like I said, subscribe to my channel because I come out with 3 videos just like this every week. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with more soon.